Hello tarot friends, this is Balsamic Moon Tarot and welcome back to my channel if you're a returning viewer. If you're new, thanks for being here, welcome. So I'm doing another pick a card reading today. I have not settled on a topic because a few ideas are coming through, but I feel like the general theme is about asking your guides, what is your inner strength? What is your inner beauty? What is the potential that you may not be aware of, your hidden potential? So I'm going to ask that question, but I'm also going to just transmit any messages that come through, because I feel like there could also be some other messages that you just simply need to hear right now. So with that being said, let's go ahead and turn these cards over to see what our three options are for the three piles today. We have the Venom. Pile 1, your card is the Venom. Wow. For pile 2, we have the Shapeshifter. Wow. Very potent cards showing up today. The Shapeshifter. And for pile 3, we have the River. Lovely. The River, pile 3. So take a moment to pause, take a few deep breaths if you feel you need to quiet your mind, and select the card that you are most drawn to. Feel free to skip ahead to your reading from the timestamps in the description box below. See you there. Hello Pile 1, welcome to your reading. I have your cards shuffled and selected here, and today we're asking for any message that needs to come through for you when you see this video, but I'm also feeling like a more specific message about your inner beauty, your inner strength needs to come through. So let's turn these cards over and let's see what we have. You selected the card, the Venom, and I feel like already there's definitely something about you that most people do not detect or know, something that you keep secret, and you're probably very afraid to share. I don't know if you've ever shared this with anyone, but if you have, it's been with very, very few people. So it's a side of yourself, or it's something about yourself, like something, you know, something you experienced or something you remember, but it's so secretive about you that I feel like you've been, it's been harming you recently in some way. Like, keeping this hidden has made you suffer, particularly recently. Suffer, whether that's depression or, you know, lashing out in anger and maybe harming someone with your anger or your outburst, or, you know, sabotaging something you've been working on. The Venom I'm seeing here is something that you've been keeping hidden and secret, and it's now very apparent to you that perhaps this isn't working for you and you need to get this out of your system some way, somehow. Okay? So with that being said, you have the Wave. We have the Oracle card Wave, which is really beautiful because I see here a figure 8. I see here something about cycles. I also see here the number 3, actually. I see the 3 and the 8. 3 plus 8 equals 11. So I feel like you're actually a master communicator, and you do connect with people on a deep level, on an intuitive level. But with the wave, you experience something in waves. You experience your power in waves is also what I'm seeing here. There's like a surge of power that you get, but it comes in these waves, and sometimes you feel like you have, actually I would say often you feel like you have no control over it, and it's overwhelming to you. And and I think this may be what's upsetting you at this time, is feeling like you have these moments of clarity and empowerment and confidence, but it's like you get swept up in it, and then it kind of leaves you devastated after. You know, it's not a very comforting feeling to know that you feel like this is out of your control. These waves of these, the ups, right? The ups versus the downs. The ups come and they're like peak moments that are great, but it almost makes you anxious when it does happen, because you know it's not going to last so long. So I think you kind of anxiously do as much as you can while you're having an up moment, right? While you're riding high, you do as much as you can, and you get kind of manic, and because you're so fearful about when it's going to leave you, and it's going to leave you drained and devastated and feeling weak and powerless. So that's actually what I'm seeing with this wave card. I don't think that is the interpretation of the deck, but it's what I'm picking up intuitively. So let's go ahead and turn these over. In fact, I'm going to put this here. I'm going to put this here. And yeah, let's see. So we have a major arcana card here called the Caravan, which relates to the Chariot. It's number 7. So in other decks, that would be the Chariot. Here it's called the Caravan. We have the 8 of Flowers, also known as the 8 of Pentacles. So definitely seeing someone who's very hardworking and ambitious. 7 of Flowers now, so the 7 of Pentacles. You see a glass of water in the desert, and all the, all the cacti, and this blooming cactus is here, which is really lovely. And the Artist, okay, the Magician card, another major arcana card. Beautiful. Okay, just adjusting these cards. I think, yep, that looks better. So we also have the World card. In this deck, it's called the Universe. We have the Emperor, which I know it's not called that. It's called Power. Let me see. Majesty. Okay, lovely. We have the Majesty card. We also have the 2 of Cups with the Zebra. And we have the 10 of Cups. Nice, with this whale. Okay. Wow. Pile 1. I was going to pause and read these cards, but I can see in your deck, I just need to put all the cards on the table, because there is a very strong message here with these repeating cards. You also have the World, again. Let me put it here. You have the Judgment card, the Knight of Cups, which is going here right next to the Artist. That's really lovely. You have the Temperance card. And the World again. The Magician again, which, you know, was the Artist, as we first saw. The Hierophant. And the Nine of Swords, which I don't normally read reversals, but it showed up reversed. I'm going to put this down upright. We have the Nine of Swords here. Okay, so in that case, let me actually scooch these over. And then I promise I will start talking about these cards, because there's a very strong, potent message that wants to come through here. Okay, great. Pile one. Wow. Wow. The wave, I feel, you know, so remember when I was talking about how you get these surges of energy and power and confidence, and you take advantage of them because you know they're gonna, like, you know, as soon as it's coming, you know it's also gonna go. So you've kind of come into this way of coping where you do as much as you can while you're riding high, while you're riding that wave. I'm not gonna read this whole description. I'll just get to some points from the guidebook here. The balanced energy of the wave is an enjoyable sense of connection with oneself. The imbalanced energy of the wave is loneliness and isolation, a pervasive mistrust of one's intuition. To bring into balance, the sound of ocean waves balances the brain's hemispheres and helps bring forth an awareness of unity conscious. Yeah, unity conscious. That makes a lot of sense. Wow. Pile one, I don't know where to begin with you, because you have... Oh, I feel for you. I'm very sympathetic. You're going through a lot. I can see that. I started this reading thinking about what, you know, the question, what is your inner beauty, your inner strength? What is your hidden potential? And for you, pile one, I think that you actually have an awareness about your potential because you have lived your potential. You've fulfilled some of your potential already, and it's been it's made a big impact in your life. I think it's actually changed your life, the course of your life at times. Just the way you've had to dig in and access these enormous reserves of strength and inner power. And by doing that, you've co-created a life that at times has felt almost unbelievable. Just the success you've attained. I would not say maybe in all aspects of life, but in a certain aspects of your life, you've achieved success in a way that you never. I wouldn't say no. I would say no one else around you has achieved. I would say that. I think you imagined you would get this far. You dreamed about it. You had visions about it, and then you manifested it. I think you have enormous manifestation powers. However, there's a sense here that you feel almost guilty for what you've achieved. And I think the reason why is because I think you believe wrongfully, you believe that what you've achieved, you had to compromise or hurt other people in order to achieve it. And I don't know if that's true. I feel like even if there's a kernel of truth in it, I feel like you make it so much bigger in your mind. You make it, you make this fear and this guilt much bigger than it really warrants. but yeah, that's what I'm seeing so far, is that your inner beauty is that, you know, you have this enormous um, potential to manifest and achieve good in the world. And I think you just have doubts that what you create and what you achieve is doing any good or is helping others. So let me take a closer look here and just tap into the energy of these cards and really tease out some specifics here. So, you know, you got the World card at least 3 times, right? You also have the 8 of Pentacles and the 7 of Pentacles. You know what I'm gonna do? Let's just go through it with the Caravan and the World. Yeah, definitely high. I would say maybe even a high income earner. Maybe you have a high salary right now, or you've made a lot of money in business or in some kind of industry. You know, you made so much money that you're independently wealthy right now, and you actually don't have to work, but you choose to work. That's when that could be someone. That could be specific to someone here. The 8 of Pentacles with the Judgment. Yeah, you are quite a harsh judge of your own work. I wouldn't say necessarily you're a perfectionist, but you really don't give yourself any slack. That's for sure. You work very hard, and you know, you do feel pride and a sense of achievement when you accomplish your goals, but you again, there's something about it. There's something about what you've achieved where you feel like you had to sacrifice or compromise something. And I think you were willing to make that sacrifice before, when you didn't really know the full ramifications of what you were choosing. But now that you've lived this aspect, now that you've accomplished this dream, and you've lived this dream to an extent, you are kind of reevaluating the cost of accomplishing this dream. With the 7 of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups, and then the Artist, right, which is the Magician and the Temperance. So I do think one thing you are yearning for is the ability to be vulnerable, and especially the ability to be vulnerable in it, like to share tenderness, to express tenderness. I don't know if it's a particular relationship. I'm really not seeing a specific relationship. I feel like this is more general. You know, it's even your faith, it's even your spiritual beliefs, or your just your like your compassion for others. I don't think that is something you easily show or display. I think that you've become accustomed to projecting an image of you know, kind of being not just strong, but a little bit just so pragmatic, right? So pragmatic that if anyone actually knew how sensitive you truly are, they'd really be surprised, because you seem like someone who's very, you know, from the outside, you seem like someone who's very no nonsense and gruff. Yeah, that's what it is. You seem very gruff, but there's a sensitive side to you, and I think you've been evaluating your life at the moment because you're questioning, you know, some of your choices. Like, why is this aspect, why is this part of me so hard to express? I think you have been thinking about creative practice or an artistic practice. You might even do it and be very good at it, but you don't really share what you do, right? Like maybe you create art or you create poems, but you're not actually comfortable enough to share it with others. So again, there's that sense of that sensitivity and that tender aspect of you. You don't, it feels so vulnerable to you. So it's very hard for you to be vulnerable with others in that respect. But your inner beauty is the fact that you do have this tender side. I do think that that's an important message. You have the world. See, you have so much energy from the world that it's kind of feeling like the world is on your shoulders, like you bear a burden, right? You bear that burden of being the genius, even. You bear the burden of being the idea generator. You know, another specific context could be, another specific way this could show up is like maybe for your job, you do something creative, like you're a creative director, you're art director, you're a designer, you're a marketer, and you do that job so well that you make a lot of money doing it and you get a lot of praise for it. But it puts all this pressure on you, and the pressure is starting to wear you down. And what you're realizing is that for many years now, you've been generating these ideas for other people's purposes, for other people's agendas. And you're almost questioning if you could ever do it for yourself, just purely for yourself, purely for your own personal agenda. If you had the opportunity, if someone paid you to just express your own opinion, you know, not a company's message or branding, but just what is it you want to say? What do you want to put out there in the world? I think you are struggling with this because you've been creating and generating ideas for other people that you almost like don't know what your own point of view is right now. So that's another message there. So again, just take what resonates. You know, if this isn't your reading, that's totally fine. Sometimes, you know, that happens. But if you are resonating with this, just take whatever resonates with you. We have the Two of Cups here and we have the Hierophant. So there could be a relationship here, but I am not, you know, again, it could be a marriage because of the Hierophant. It could be someone you were committed to. But I don't know. I'm still not really getting that this is a relationship message. I feel like even if you're in a marriage or in a partnership, I feel like it's still very difficult for you to be vulnerable in it. You know, there's just this aspect to you where you really put pressure on yourself to project authority and to appear confident. And honestly, you are confident because you have accomplished enough to be like, yeah, I'm definitely confident because I did that. You know, like I accomplished that goal. You know, so I get that you are confident in certain aspects of your life, but I think in other aspects where you still feel weak and vulnerable, you then put on a mask of being confident. So we have the Ten of Cups, and now we have the Nine of Swords here. See this whale. The whale makes me think of the wave, right? And the deep ocean. And that's about liberation. That's about liberating yourself in the deepest sense, because you connect and align with the source. That's what spirituality does for us. It liberates us from our own egos. It liberates us from our own egotistical concerns and fears and vulnerabilities. You know, our most insecure selves can find liberation in knowing that we are part of something bigger, in knowing that the divine cares for us and loves us just as we are, and we don't have to be any different. We can be loved just as we are. And so I see here with the Ten of Cups this beautiful community and this beautiful continuity, this sense of unity that is around you, but you really have trouble seeing it and accepting it and receiving it. You really have trouble receiving love and embracing that and surrendering to that. So I think the message for you, pile 1, is that you know, your inner beauty is just the pure consciousness within you. You don't have to change anything about you to be accepted, to be loved by the divine. Okay, and that's the thing. All humans are we're, you know, all of us humans have our foibles, our flaws. You know, we are meant on. We've chosen this incarnation precisely because we wanted to learn something, to evolve, to do better, to improve. But sometimes what the improvement is not actually something that we need to strive for. Sometimes that improvement is simply to accept love, to accept who we are exactly as we are, right? Yeah, so pile 1, I don't know, I feel like I said a lot already, but you know, with the World card, you have completed, I think, multiple cycles. And so the question now is, will you give yourself a break? Will you give yourself some rest, a vacation? Will you allow yourself to simply, you know, do something for the pure enjoyment and pleasure of doing it? You know, not to do something just to express yourself, to create, right? This is the artist with the temperance. This is showing, oh yes, a beautiful, I love this card with the temperance because it's showing someone riding a winged creature, right? There's like a mythical creature here. You could say it's someone riding on the shoulders of an angel. But this is the thing, the divine wants to lift you up. The divine wants to carry you up. That's the wave. When you feel like you have these peak experiences and you're feeling high and you're riding confident, but then you're also kind of anxious and afraid because you're like, oh, it's coming, but then it's going to go. You know, you don't really sit back and enjoy it. You don't like allow yourself to just enjoy that. So I think there is, you know, a vulnerability and a sensitivity to you. And instead of trying so hard to make that into a strength, what you can do instead is just embrace it, right? Just surrender to it. Just let it wash over you. Let that vulnerability wash over you. Let it express itself in whatever quirky way it wants to express itself. We have good things here. I said the number 11 earlier when I pointed out the 3 and the 8, right? So 11, good things. And here we see a hand, 2 eyes reaching up from this blue, which this is making me think of the water. A hand reaching up from the water, from the spiritual depths of the divine, right? And reaching up to these apples, which are the good things, the good things in life. Sometimes the good things in life just need to be reached for. They just need to be embraced. And with the 11 here, this is about sharing too. This is about sharing good things, you know, doing that in relation with others. So again, that 2 of Cups, right? How can you share yourself with another? How can you share your gifts with another in a way that's sacred, in a way that's profound to you, not in a way that is, you know, for a paycheck or for admiration or for status, but you know, to do it simply because it's part of your spiritual calling, you know, to share good things, to express good things, to create good things. How can you do that just for the pure enjoyment of it and the generosity of it? We also have dependency here. Wow, see, we see dependency here, and then we see the apple again, and how this it's like, again, what I was talking about, you know, being someone who's had the burden, right? Had the burden of generating ideas for others, or working hard for others, for some other company or group or person's agenda, and doing these things for out of a dependency, right? Out of that dependency, like you need the paycheck, or you needed something in return. It was transactional. So that dependency is showing up here as this chain, but you see there's a way to break out of it, right? And I feel like the Seven of Flowers is pointing to this as well, which is the Seven of Pentacles. This is a cup of water in the desert. It's like you've been doing things feeling like a sense of scarcity, like I'm in this desert and the only way I could get a glass of water is to do this in return. Like, you know, feeling like that's all you were about, that's all you had to offer was you know, this kind of tit for tat. I don't know if that's the right word. But doing things out of dependency, doing things for survival, doing things because you feared so much that you would not survive, that you would not last. But the difference now, right? The difference in your reality to go from being in the desert, fighting for that glass of water, and then being part of the wave, right? The water is all around you. That spiritual connection shows you that you're always swimming in the waters of acceptance. You're always accepted by the divine. You're always loved by the divine. You don't have to fight for that acceptance. You don't have to fight for that love. The Knight of Cups, this is about, you know, having your heart centered and having your heart open to these experiences of beauty and pleasure. And we see what looks to be a soldier, or maybe like a royal person, but he's in this forest and he's just surrounded by these beautiful deer, you know, just surrounded by nature. This is someone who's coming from the city, right? This is someone who's coming from like society, and he's got garments that show that he's, you know, perhaps a high-ranking member of society, and he's probably had a demanding job, which I think you are experiencing, or you relate to, is having the demanding job where, yes, you accomplished a lot and you gained a lot in return, but it still did not feed your soul, right? So that's what's going on here, is like now you have the opportunity to feed your soul, and to not worry that the good that comes into your life is just going to dissipate. You know, to go with the waves, knowing that it will always come back to you, and also that it would never exhaust itself. It's always replenished, okay? So with that being said, I will pull a couple more cards for you, pile one. We have the Death card. Wow. Yeah, this is a new beginning. And you know what? I see that the chain here relates to the World card, because to have the World card show up 3 times, it's talking about, you know, being so connected to worldly matters that you feel like you're chained. You feel like you're a prisoner in a sense. But the Death card is releasing you from that. The Death card is showing like you can put all that behind you. Wow, now we have the High Priestess. Yes, you can put all that behind you if you just follow your intuition. That wave, the wave of your feelings, the wave of your intuition, the waves of your creativity. When you feel the wave and that surge of power that makes you want to create and express and reveal yourself and open up to others, that's your intuition showing up. And that's also the power of the divine feminine showing up. So don't fear it, right? This is about not fearing it, but embracing it with that knowing, okay? The knowing that you're safe and you are cared for, and you can tap into this power and this acceptance and love. You can tap into it whenever you choose to. It's always there. So that's your message, pile 1. Best of luck with everything you're going through. And thank you so much for being here. Take care. Hello, pile 2. Welcome to your reading. You selected the Shapeshifter. And today we're going to talk about your inner strength and beauty, and also any messages that just need to come through, any advice about that. So let's see. We selected the Shapeshifter, which I wanted to take a look at with the guidebook, because already I'm definitely getting a sense that you have a lot of inner power that you trust. You trust your intuition. That's one thing I'm getting here. The Shapeshifter is within all of us to some degree. It is the side of ourselves that is slippery, non-committal, and experimental, and longs to dismiss the rules. We need its energy to adapt to the ever-changing landscape of our existence. When the Shapeshifter card appears, it is important to imagine you are looking at life through a kaleidoscope rather than a single focused lens. At any moment, the scene may shift, revealing a more enchanting vision than you imagined. Be wary, though, as the allure of the kaleidoscope can leave you exhausted and yearning for solid ground. Dancing long-term with the Shapeshifter requires a central pillar of integrity that links us back to our center. So, qualities of the Shapeshifter are vibrant, adaptive, humorous. Also, charlatan, people-pleasing, trickery. Interesting. So, with that being said, let's turn these cards over and let's see what your message is today. We have the Star card. Beautiful. Wow. I love that. I'm seeing here, so far I'm seeing here this ability that you have to really connect with anybody. Like, you just know how to move through all sorts of, groups of people, and you can connect with them on that middle ground. And I think there's some kind of, maybe you're Aquarius, like maybe you have Aquarius energy, Aquarius in your birth chart, but there's something about you that really appeals to good faith, right? Like people's good faith, people's highest, their best selves. Like, you bring out the best in other people, and you inspire people to be their best around you. Okay, so that being said, let's put this to the side and let's turn these tarot cards over. So we have the Seven of Flowers, also known as the Seven of Pentacles. We have Love, the Lover's card in other decks. We have the Student of Vessels, also known as the Page of Cups. And we have the Moon. Wow. Yeah, so definitely a very intuitive person, and intuitive in relationships, right? So that's emphasizing my point earlier. Let's see what else. We have the Nine of Cups. We have the Nine of Wands. We have the Ace of Pentacles. And we have the Five of Pentacles. Okay. I'm gonna, before I move on with the other cards, I'm gonna pause here to just really tap into these cards so far. So with your inner strength and beauty, it's interesting to me that the Seven of Pentacles shows up here. It actually showed up in pile 1, so if you were drawn to that reading, you might want to watch that as well. But with the Seven of Pentacles here, I feel like you are actually very intuitive with what other people, with something that other people, how can I phrase this? I think you're intuitive about other people's own talents, other people's own potentials. Like, you can really tune into their gifts and their strengths, that their potential, right, that they have not yet fully developed. And I think you're an intuitive coach in that respect. You're intuitive in guidance and coaching and counseling, even, and counseling others and on how to develop their own potential. So that is interesting. I don't know if you do that for a career, but I feel like you definitely have this as a very special and innate skill. So that's one of your inner strengths, is simply like, it's not just the fact that you can identify this in other people, it's the fact that you genuinely want to cultivate that, the best in them, right? So you genuinely care that they have that confidence in themselves. You genuinely care about building them up, you know, and reassuring them that they can achieve what they want to achieve if they just apply themselves. So you could even be a teacher with the Page of Cups here, the Student of Vessels, right? So you could actually have kids or younger people that look up to you and really admire you. I'm even seeing perhaps that you teach something that is creative or artistic in nature. You have the Moon card here, so, you know, with the love and the moon, definitely showing up as creative talents and gifts. But overall, you know, just simply that intuition is so strong in you, right? Now, the Nine of Cups and the Nine of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles and then the Five of Pentacles, there's an interesting message here, because I think you have actually been a bit, you have mixed feelings about something about to start up in your life. Like, there's something new in your life that you're actually very excited about. That's what this Ace of Pentacles is. So like, maybe you just got a new job and you're starting a new job, or you got offered, like, I don't know, you got offered a gift or an opportunity of some kind, and you're receiving it and you want to take advantage of it, but there is something here that is, I'm trying to figure this out. What is it making you wonder? This Five of Pentacles. Yeah, you know what it is? Okay, I'll just say what's coming through here. This may not be for everybody, but I think for some of you, you had a lot of energy in the first part of your life. Like, you had a lot of ambition, you had a lot of energy, and it was almost like you had boundless energy to just do the things you wanted to do, right? Like, you really, yeah, that's what I'm seeing. You just had all this energy, and then now that you're getting this opportunity, you're kind of feeling differently. Like, you're feeling like, I want to take the opportunity, but I don't want to bring, I want to, you know, I have some doubts that I'm going to be able to bring the same amount of energy that I used to do. Like, I feel like there's a hesitation here to commit yourself fully to the task. And the reason why is because you do feel like you're close to exhausting yourself. You're exhausting your capacity in some way. maybe even feeling like so pleased with what you've done so far that you don't want to do something just to do it. You know, you want to do something because you really feel like you're ready to do it and you have the purpose and the meaning behind it. But like just to do something just because the opportunity falls into your lap, there's a hesitation there to take advantage of that. So I don't know. I feel like that's a specific message coming through for someone. But overall, with the Nine of Cups and then this Nine of Wands, it's like there's a lot of satisfaction here and feeling that you've done your best. And you're coming close to the completion of a cycle here. You're coming close to kind of closing the book on something, or like writing the last chapter. So, you know, again, when it comes to shape-shifting, that's what's interesting. I feel like for someone here, shape-shifting meant that you had to connect with a lot of different kinds of people. Maybe you even help them share their stories. Maybe you're even a writer. I am seeing that here. Someone here is a writer, and you help to share other people's stories. That's why the star is also here, because you elevated their stories and you really believed in them, and so they gave you their best selves. And I feel like this journey you've been on is kind of coming to a close, because frankly you've dedicated so much of your life to it that you're sensing that you don't have the capacity to continue doing this to the same extent. So you're modifying or modulating how you approach it. And that's also what the Seven of Flowers is about. It's about realizing that, you know, you have limitations some way, and how can you make the best of that limitation? How can you be practical here? But that's what I'm seeing. I think you're going to make the best decision for yourself, and you're very grounded in how you approach this too. So I'm not really concerned with you know, whatever your concerns are. I don't have the same concerns, because I think you're going to come through this, you know, feeling good and feeling very secure and grounded. But let's keep going. Okay, we have the King of Chalices, also known as the King of Cups. Yeah, so much water in this, right? In this reading. We have the Six of Pentacles, okay? Right above the sixth major arcana, the Lover's card. We have the Ten of Swords, okay? And we have the King of Pentacles. You know, I was just thinking that. I was thinking that there's water, but there's also pentacles. There's earth and there's water. We have the Three of Pentacles above the Nine of Cups there. We have the Two of Wands. Yep, that's the new opportunity calling you. We have the Page of Swords. And the King of Pentacles right here under the King of Pentacles. Wow, that's amazing, right? So, yeah, that's actually very cool. So, with your inner strength and beauty, I think you have a lot of experience that needs to be shared, and your inner beauty is the fact that you can connect with people. So I think that you can take this experience and really help other people better their lives. I think a lot of your experience has to do in the realm of counseling or advising. Like you really have connected with so many different kinds of people, and you advised on so many different kinds of problems that you have not just experienced in your own life of hardship, but you really understand other people's hardship because you talked to them about it. Like they shared their hardship with you. The Ten of Swords here is interesting because I am seeing that again there is a chapter closing, because there's something that it's like you don't want to just you know, you sort of feel like a been there done that energy. Been there done that. I don't need to go retrace those steps. It might even be with the teaching. So maybe you've been a teacher, maybe you've been a professor, or you've worked with, you know, younger people. I think maybe there's something there that needs to stop because it's draining you or it's stressing you out more than it needs to. And then maybe you just need to give yourself permission. Because I get that when you do something so well and people really need you and people really like admire what you do and they're constantly like asking for your help, you know, it's kind of addictive, right? It's addictive to be needed, and it's hard to say no. But you know, the shapeshifter, right, that talked about people pleasing, and this is something that can shift now for you, is to be able to say no. It's totally fine to say no. You know, you've given so much of yourself already up until this point. With the Six of Pentacles, this is about coming into balance, right? Coming into balance and understanding that what is charitable and generous also has a power dynamic in it. So, you know, when we're charitable with people and we're constantly giving to them, we don't really give them a chance to give to themselves, right? We don't give them a chance to experience enough struggle that they can do for themselves. So there's an aspect here to this, okay, where you might feel a little bit torn about setting people free and letting them learn from their mistakes rather than always be there to advise them, right? So you might be having a cycle ending here now where you feel like, you know, maybe I do need to move on and not just be there to constantly help out. You know, maybe I do need to retire. Maybe I do need to, you know, pick another path here where I'm not going to be asked for help all the time. And that's totally fine. I think you should definitely give yourself permission to do that. We have the King of Pentacles twice. We have the Page of Swords. You're definitely investigating and asking questions and trying to get as much information. You're trying to do a lot of research on this new opportunity. You want to figure out, like, is this really going to line up with my long-term goals here? I do think for some of you, you're nearing retirement or you're in retirement age, and you want to make sure that this new opportunity doesn't compromise your goals there. It doesn't set you back, okay? So, you know, that's a message for somebody here. You know, definitely do your research, ask questions. You know, don't just listen to what they're marketing to you, but really ask questions, ask hard questions, and keep in mind that not everything can be fixed. What I'm trying to say is that with the King of Pentacles showing up twice and then the Moon card, sometimes we also need to accept that change is good. Change can always be anticipated. Not every change can be like controlled and anticipated and preempted, right? Preemptively gonna do this or that. Like sometimes we just need to go with the flow and accept that, you know, we can roll with the punches here, because I think you really are ready for a level of comfort and security, but you're still figuring out how to achieve that. I don't know that you fully achieved it in the way you want to. So shapeshifting is also telling me that, you know, you do need to be adaptable. You do need to be adaptive to the circumstances here. You cannot control every aspect of the circumstances, nor can you know everything in advance. So the more adaptable, right, the more adaptive you are, the more resilient you'll be as you enter the new phase. We also have this Three of Pentacles, right? So, you know, again, there's some kind of opportunity here that I think it's going to give you a new way to work. It's going to give you new coworkers or new collaborators, and it's a worthy opportunity if you just ask the right questions and you approach it in a way that's very open-minded, and also keeping a long-term perspective. So maybe you are hesitant to take the opportunity because you're like, I don't know if I want to, you know, put in this much time right now. But think about the long-term gain. Is it going to help you with your long-term goals? Is it going to help you navigate to a position in life where you really can have more control over your schedule, over your time, you know, stuff like that. So Yeah, that's a message that wanted to come through. It's not for everybody, but I think some of you needed to hear that. So with that being said, pile 2, I'm going to pull a few more cards as advice and closing messages for today. What is the advice for pile 2? Any advice, clarification before we end the message? We have the 7 of Wands, and we have the 4 of Cups. Let me put that here. We have Twin, and we have the one who needs to control. Okay. So the shapeshifter and the twin. Okay, I'm seeing as a closing message, pile 2. Yeah, as a closing message, I think being adaptable for sure, but not being adaptable, but also being open to another person's perspective here, another person's advice. Because I think you might be resistant to some feedback and some advice about the situation you're in or about this opportunity. You know, being open to that. And also, as I was saying, being able to roll with the punches, right? There's a lot that can't be anticipated at this time. There's a lot out of your control. But there's also a lot to be gained here. So you don't want to, I feel like with this 4 of Cups and the 7 of Wands, there is a part of you that has your guard up, that doesn't want to take on a new relationship or a new partnership or a new job or a new project. Like there's something new being offered to you and you're hesitant to take it because, you're questioning if it's in alignment with what you want right now. I would say that, be a little more open-minded about it, be a little more receptive, and be a little bit more willing to adapt and roll with the punches, because there's actually something very special to be gained here. And it does have to do with another person. I think it has to do with that sense of partnership, or that sense of someone being here ready to help you, because you've often been the person helping others. You've often been someone who's advising others, but I think someone's showing up who's ready to advise you. And I think you can, if you're just receptive to it, it can really, really help you at this time. Okay, so pile 2, that's your message. Thank you so much for being here, and take care. Hello, pile 3. Welcome to your reading. You selected the River. I'm going to take a quick look at this guidebook. I love that card for you. So, with the River, this card symbolizes acceptance, grace, reflection, and forgiveness. Can also mean torment of emotions, flooding, and overwhelm. I am definitely seeing forgiveness here as a theme. Forgiveness, going with the flow, the change that comes when you release something, you let it go, and you make room in your life for something new to enter it. You forgive the past. So today's reading is about your inner strength and your inner beauty, your inner potential that may be hidden. But I also want to just get any messages that come through. So it's going to be yeah, it's going to be a very general reading, but with the intention of tapping into what is your inner strength and what is your inner beauty. So let's turn these cards over. You have the Divine Masculine here. Wonderful. It's such a beautiful card. And it's interesting, I do see affinities here because I feel like the colors are being repeated here. Blue and yellow and green and the red. Okay, let's keep going. I'm gonna put this here. Let's see what your tarot cards are. We have the Student of Spirals, also known as the Page of Wands. Okay, the Gambler. We see the rolling of the dice here. Someone who likes games of chance, someone who likes to take risks. We have the Nine of Blades, okay, also known as the Nine of Swords. We have the Seven of Flowers. This has come up in all the readings today. The Seven of Flowers, also known as the Seven of Pentacles. And we have the Ten of Pentacles here. Okay, wonderful. Let me actually move this down, and that should look better. Okay, we have the Empress card. Lovely. The Sacred Bull. I mean, not the Sacred Bull, the Sacred Cow. And the Divine Feminine. We have the Four of Wands, the Seven of Cups, and the Ten of Cups. Lovely. Beautiful, beautiful energy here. I love how the Ten of Cups is under here, the Ten of Flowers, the Ten of Pentacles, right? So I think that you have inner beauty and inner strength that is rooted in your community, in your family. I think, you know, you have ancestors or you have a lineage, a heritage that gives you a lot of inner strength. That's what I'm picking up here. Yeah, before I continue, actually, because I do have some more tarot cards to show you, but yeah, before I continue, let's talk about this. The Divine Masculine is here, so it's like you have this ability to be very grounded and to do, just to go about what you do very methodically, like making a plan, having an intention, making a plan, having a game plan, having a strategy. You know, there's the Page of Wands, right? The strategy, and then being willing to take that risk and go out there and do it. So your inner strength is resolve. It's this resolve. It's an inner resolve. It's an inner determination to set out and do what you want to do, to whatever it takes. Like, you have the dedication and the determination to do this. With the Nine of Swords, I think that you do this despite having a lot of fears. I think you have, you know, anxieties or fears about what you're doing, but you also are able to, like, put them, it's almost like, let's say you wake up from a nightmare, like, you don't let that nightmare ruin your day. You know, you wake up and you have a nightmare and you're like, that was an awful dream and that was terrible, but like, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Like, I'm gonna keep going after this. I'm gonna keep working. I'm gonna keep applying myself. You don't give up. You don't give up even when you have legitimate concerns and worries. Like, maybe there are people around you who are really struggling, and you know, you are tempted to compare yourself to them, and you're tempted to think like, you know, I'm their same struggle is going to happen for me, and you know, I'm going to fail at this. There's a lot of like fear of failure here, but I feel like you still apply yourself, you still push yourself to do this, and so there is this inner strength that comes to you, because I think, you know, frankly, I think like you were raised in a certain way, the way you were raised to never give up. You were raised by, you know, maybe you learned so much from the people around you, both the good and the bad. You learned both from their positives and their negatives. You learned how to never give up. So with that being said, your inner beauty, right? It's this commitment. It's this level of commitment that you bring. And here's the river too, right? So the river also makes me think about memory and the past. And so the connection you have to the past, that's an inner strength I think you don't fully appreciate. I don't think you really understand just how strong that is for you, how that's a strength, right? How that's a positive. I think sometimes you wish you didn't have as much of your memories, or you wish you didn't feel as connected to the past, but it's actually a strength here. And the reason why is because with the Grace card, this is the Empress, but in this deck it's called Grace. With the Grace card, you know, you have faith that you have a faith in, yeah, life itself. That's what I want. That's how I would say that. It's like, I don't think you realize just how much you lift people's spirits up just by being who you are, just by being yourself. You lift people's spirits, and you give them a sense of optimism and courage that they can, you know, they can follow in your footsteps, or they can get the same good things in their life. So, you know, you set an example. That's what it is. It's like you set this really good example of someone who has the integrity, but also the kindness, right? The compassion, the generosity, the way you nurture others. It's so inspiring. The way you care for others is so inspiring. And with the Four of Wands and the Seven of Cups here, you know, we're seeing this really beautiful quality, also a beautiful quality of dreaming, of having dreams. Oh, I just noticed the koi fish. Yeah, this is like having the ability to dream up beautiful ideas and bring together different ideas, it's like bringing disparate elements. It's like the way you tie things together, the way you bring things together is really inspiring as well. And it's the way you celebrate that's also inspiring. I feel like you work hard and you achieve, but you have this way of enjoying the good life that really, really, really inspires people. Like, you know, you when just even like cooking a dinner, setting the table, making a nice space, like even the way you make your home feel very peaceful, very serene, calm, restful. It's like that energy is exuded from everything you do. It's exuded in how you look. It's exuded in your in the home. It's exuded in your mannerisms. Yeah. Wow, that is really something. That's beautiful. Let's keep going. So we have the Hermit here. We have the Queen of Swords. Okay, interesting. It's above the Nine of Swords. We have the Three of Wands, and we have the Two of Wands. We also have the Seven of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles. Is this the Knave? Wait, the Knave. And then we have the Six of Pentacles. And we have the Emperor. Okay. Lovely. I believe this is the Page of Pentacles. So here, what is showing up Yeah, this is cool. I like this a lot. So your inner strength, your inner beauty, you know, you have a lot of wisdom to share. And I think that being a mentor might be in your future here. I think, I don't know, you know, it might be writing, you know, it might simply be like writing down your experiences. But I think being a mentor and sharing your wisdom is going to tap into a lot of your natural, just your natural talents here. And I don't think you've really had a chance to do that until now. But I think you're going to get this opportunity because there's like really big things generating here. There's really big things coming your way here. We have the Three of Wands and the Two of Wands above, you know, the Seven of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles. So it's like you have a big opportunity that can even be connected to financial gain. But it comes down to your shrewdness. Like you really get to the heart of the matter. You share a very honest take, and you know, you have a lot of integrity in what you say. You stand by your word. You don't mince words. You say the truth. You say it how you see it. But again, like with the divine masculine, right? It's like you have this thing about you, the grit. Like you've had this thing about you where you've gone through hard, difficult times and you still didn't give up. So I think that's so inspiring to people, and now you're going to have a chance to share that about yourself, and you're going to have a chance to give, you know, to give people some, especially younger people, you're going to have a chance to give them, you know, some words of wisdom. With the Hermit here too, right? Like I'm seeing that teaching quality. I think you're a natural teacher, and you might even find yourself teaching about how to do things, right? Like I don't know if you have certain skills like sewing or crafting, skills related to mechanical skills even, but I feel like you are going to be given the opportunity to share those skills, share what you learned. But yeah, that's definitely an inner strength. Now here we have the Emperor, and then I feel like we have a scenario here. So this is a separate message that is a bit of a prediction here. I think you're probably going to be able to start your own business. That's possible. But there's something about, yeah, like connecting to the community, being a big part of the community, and getting a lot of your strength from your family, your community, your heritage. Like that's going to be a strength that gives you an opportunity to even start your own business or like be a leader, you know, a real leader in some way, and to share, you know, yeah, to share. It's like, again, the mentorship, to train people on how to do something, to train people on strategies. Yeah, tricks of the trade. I just heard that. Tips. It's more than tips. It's like actual training. It's actually teaching someone, like, you know, let's say you have a specific craft, like woodworking, like basket weaving, sewing, cooking, baking. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's something really hands-on that you do. Engineering, it's just very hands-on. It's something that's very practical and hands-on, and you have the ability to teach this now. And as the Emperor here, it's like you have the ability to actually make quite a good of money teaching it. But you see, it connects you to the community, and it makes you a leader in the community. So with the River, again, I'm getting a very strong sense of being connected to others, and, you know, using the wisdom of the past to enlighten the present, to take those traditions and that wisdom of the past and actually share it with people now who never had that connection. So that's really special here. And I think you have the you have like the grit and the willpower and the determination to do this, you know, because anybody else would be intimidated by this prospect. It's such a large, big idea, and it brings together so many pieces of a big puzzle that you have to fit together. You know, it takes a lot of strategy, it takes a lot of planning, it takes a lot of forethought, it takes a lot of, you know, gathering of resources, right? So you're not daunted by that, and that's what's really cool here, is that you want to take this on, and it's actually giving you a lot of excitement to do that, to have something this big to tackle. It's like you're ambitious enough that this is something that you're really going to enjoy solving this problem. You know, it's going to give you enough problems to solve, and I see that with the Hermit here, right? Wow, so pile 3, yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot going on for you. I'm really excited for you. But, you know, when it comes to your inner strength and beauty, I mean, you just have this way of projecting calmness and assurance and peace, and the way you nurture others, the way you mentor others, it's very inspiring. The way you experience the good life, the way you just cultivate that type of gracefulness and beauty and tact, it's very inspiring. But you do this in a way where, you know, you're actually you're not at all someone to be who lets others take advantage of you. You have a lot of leadership potential here. You have a lot of yeah, you have that boss energy, frankly. Okay, we have the King of Wands. Nice. Just getting another last closing message for you, pile 3. We have the King of Wands. We have the Six of Swords. I'm seeing travel in your future here. Definitely maybe getting a chance to take a trip and be inspired on this trip, to take your mind off things and get a lot of ideas generated from this trip. Green, wow, that's lovely. So green is, you know, the culmination. Ooh, the weight of truth. So green is talking about abundance too, and I feel like, you know, you are maybe able to take a trip somewhere where you can be in a very beautiful natural setting, like surrounded by nature, somewhere very peaceful and serene. And then this weight of truth is showing up here. So it's taking this vacation that gives you the space needed to process something, to get some perspective on something. You know, with the river here, I think again, when I said forgiveness in the beginning, you know, maybe you've been holding a grudge up until this point, and now I think you're going to have a chance to forgive something of the past, maybe forgive someone in particular, and just release that anger or that resentment so that you can welcome something new into your life. So that's beautiful too here. Pile 3, that's your message for today. Thank you so much for being here, and please take care. Thank you.